Hey, what up, people? All right. I know we're all been thirsty for some football, and so nothing like a good draft to start off the 2025 season. Ladies, it's so good to see you. We've had a little bit of time away, so mwah, 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 mwah. Welcome everybody to Girlfriends and Football. It is Monday night, post 2025 draft. Welcome, ladies. What up?
Hey, we did it. We're here. It's back. Football's back. Kind of.
Okay.
Football news is back.
Yes.
It's
And
like a drama series. It's like this is the amp up. We've got all these little side stories coming in for the premiere episode. I'm super excited.
Yes.
Like a soap opera. That's what I was thinking, a soap opera.
Yes. And guess who's in the house? We got Technics Chick. We got Gabe in the house. What's up, everybody? Okay. So it was crazy. But first, before we get into too much, we have done some chatting behind the scenes here, right, ladies? And we've talked about how we really want to start to educate people a little bit about the process and things in football. Because there are some ladies that love football, but they're not, they want to get their IQ up a little bit higher in their football game. So we're here to help everybody out here. So let's talk a little bit about the draft. So the draft is a way of bringing in rookies into the league. And the way that it's done is each team has a position in the draft. So there's different rounds. Each round, we'll say the first round, each team has one selection that they can have. They call that the first round draft pick for that team. Then there's the overall first round or overall number one pick. And that's the very first person that the very first team gets to pick. Now, teams are organized. There's 32 teams in the NFL. And the first pick is usually got the worst record from the season. So the crappier you do in the season, the higher draft pick you get. So you can be pick number 1, 2, 3, yada, 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 all the way down. So if you had a great season, like the Eagles did, pause for effect, then then you're at the end of the rope. So you're pick number 32. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that's how it's all set up. So this year, the first overall pick was Cam Ward from Miami, a quarterback. And he is, let me bring up our visual that we have here. That Laura, I got to give cred because she killed it.
Thank you.
Titans were the first team to pick. So they got to pick Cam Ward as number 1. Number 2 was Travis Hunter with the Jacksonville Jaguars. However, what can happen in the draft is trades, okay? So originally the number 2 pick was supposed to go to the Cleveland Browns, but Cleveland made a deal with Jacksonville because Jacksonville was further down in the draft numbers. And they really wanted to get up there to get Travis Hunter, right? So they traded with the Cleveland Browns. And the way that they did that is they said, okay, Cleveland, you'll take our spot at number 5. We move up to number 2. And then they also, the Jacksonville Jaguars also offered, I believe, a second-round pick this year, as well as a first-round pick for next year. So next year, Cleveland will have 2 first-round picks next year. So things like this can happen. You can make trades to try to go up in the draft or go down in the draft. Now, the hardest thing that I had to learn was why would a team want to go further down in the draft? Those tend to be the teams that need a lot of help. They have to fill a lot of holes. And so they're trading so they can get more picks. So those picks might not be as high, but they can get more quality people in the draft. So that's kind of the nuts and bolts. Now, this is just round 1 that we have up here. There's round 2, round 3, round 4. Now, the one thing that you need to know is the very last pick of every year is somebody called the
Mr. Irrelevant.
Mr. Irrelevant. And I love talking about that because Brock Purdy, who is the 49ers' current QB1, that's the first string quarterback, was a Mr. Irrelevant that climbed the ranks. So Every person in the draft is worthwhile, my friends. That's all I got to say about that. All right, so ladies, this is what it looked like. Round one, our chat was just blowing up, back and forth, all the things. Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter. We really fell in love with Will Campbell. So let me stop talking, and ladies, I'm going to let you guys take over. What were your thoughts as the picks started coming through?
I really enjoyed watching it. Like I said, I had put it in my Facebook post and a couple other places. This was my first real watching of the draft. It never really meant a whole lot to me. I never really cared. It was just kind of once football season hit, and I'm going to learn names as I need to learn them. But it was a lot of fun to see these guys. The joy, the fear, just the anxiety you could see building up with all of them. I thought it was so much fun. To see the families as they celebrated their loved ones and celebrated each other. It was really cool. I loved Cam Ward. What a great first pick. He seemed super humble and modest, but still like he owned his own, right? So I'm really hopeful to see him play. I think he's going to do great. His tape looks great, and he's going to need it. Tennessee has got a lot of growing to do this year, so we'll see what happens there.
Yeah. Laura, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, so I do watch the draft every year. I have for a long, long time. And for most of that period of time, most of my adult life, the Detroit Lions often picked first. If not, maybe like first through fifth usually was our sweet spot. This year we were way up. I think we were 30? We were way up. Yeah. So no, we were 28, whatever we were.
Let's see. Here we go.
Where are we?
You guys have picked 28. Yep.
28. So
had to stay up really late for those.
Yeah, this was a long one. This was and the same was true last year too. But it was a long one. But I really enjoy it. In fact, when we started watching, I told you guys that I don't have cable. I'm like, I'm gonna watch like a YouTube coverage of it. And I started watching it, and it was just a bunch of dudes, talking heads, just blah, blah, blahing about everything. And I'm like, no, I want to see the fits. I want to see people walking up on stage, getting handed their hat and their jersey. I want the pageantry of it. So I was really excited. So I actually spent $7 on NFL Plus to be able to watch it. And I was so much happier once I switched over. So yeah, I just love the whole, the kind of pageantry of it and the kind of excitement and these kids have. One of my favorite players, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a little bit, Beth, was your pick because he was everybody's hype man in the green room area because his little green room seat was right before you enter the stage. So every time a player got picked and was walking past him, he would run out into the aisle, give him a huge hug. And like, he was so excited. And I just loved how excited he was for everyone else, even when he hadn't been picked yet. It was pretty incredible. I loved that.
I think that's going to fill your emotional void from our Happy Feet guy that got sent to the Patriots for you, Beth. I feel like, I
think so too. He's got a great personality on him. And just, you can see the joy in him. So I really hope that he's gonna do well for us and help lift our spirits.
Yeah.
I will still miss our man though.
I know. So I'm going to put this back up because I want to get a little bit into this here. I think, they say that the Giants won the first round. The Giants were pretty brilliant. So they came out, they got Abdul Carter, an amazing athlete, really, really valuable player. And then they turned around and snuck back in the first round and snagged Jackson Dart at pick 25. So this was like, holy cow, they're not playing. Jackson Dart, Dable's the head coach for the New York Giants. But I feel like our chat, we had some chatter, didn't we, about the Giants quarterback room? Yes.
Well,
yes?
So I'll originally say I agree. I think Abdul Carter was a great pick for them. I know that some Giants fans would prefer a quarterback over that, but I think they made the right call. They needed somebody else big to go along with Dexter Lawrence and all of that. But when you look at the quarterback room at the Giants, you really wonder what's going on. I mean, so they just picked up Jackson Dart, right? Well, they acquired last year over the offseason. They now also have Jameis Winston. We've got Russell Wilson, who I feel like the two of them are the exact opposite human beings. Like, you couldn't get polar opposite personalities if you tried. And then Tommy Cutlett. I mean, Tommy DeVito.
See, I jinxed you. Yeah.
I can't not say Tommy Cutlett, and I need to do it with this.
Right.
Right.
So, I mean, we have the Italian mafia along with Jameis Winston, Russell Wilson, and this newbie who is just going to be like, what did I walk into?
It's like as if the movie Major League, which was based on a baseball team, like if football had its twin of that movie, this would be the character cast, right?
I could see that. I could see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a crazy bunch
thing.
of characters.
I really wish they could do like a 30 for 30 in that room, right? Like, I just think that would be so much fun.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, girl, we're going to get into that. Technics Chick's already one step ahead of me talking about the Niners picks, but she also said Giants made some great picks along the defensive line too. Yes, they did. This draft class was very rich in defensive ends, defensive tackles. It was rich. So there wasn't, we'll get into this a little later as we talk about what everybody's been talking about, but I don't want to say it yet because I think there's a lot of people that we need to give credit to. Cam Ward, I think, got overshadowed. I think Travis Hunter's story got overshadowed. And so I'm just going to leave that where it is. But there's not a lot of teams that were looking for quarterbacks this year. And next year, it's supposed to be a much richer class for quarterbacks. So, that's we'll just kind of leave that there. But for the 49ers, I'll go ahead and open this discussion because y'all, Big Sexy is back. My man. Robert Saleh, fresh from the Jets, with his bald head, just beautiful man. Boy, did he load up. We got us some defenders. We got DNs, D tackles. We got linebacker. We got corner. We got all kinds of things. So bang, bang, Niner gang. Yes, Roscoe's in the house. What's up, my friend? And we're here. I'm so excited, y'all. For those who haven't seen our show, maybe you have. I am a big lover of defense. It is what has just been such a part of who 49ers have been these past couple of years since Shanahan's come in. And it was really sad to see the kind of defense we had last year just not be as not be as electric as we've been. And so, we sent Talanoa Hufanga and we sent Dre Greenlaw. Pause for effect. We sent them off to Denver. And so we had some holes. We definitely had to fill. And I'm really, really optimistic that, we're going to get back to our roots and we're going to be a nasty, nasty defense. And I am here for all of it. So here we go. That's all I got to say about that. So bang, bang, Niner gang. What does it say? LOL, Desi. YouTube needs to have the ability to have a GIF option. Need that Robert Saleh being pumped. Yes. And Fred bringing that energy. I am here for all of it. So I think, Roscoe's, he posted, I think it was on X. He tweeted out that he gave the 49ers an A- in their draft class. This has been my favorite draft class. I can't even remember the last time I was in love with a draft class as much as this one. He gave it an A-. I got to agree. I mean, I think we did. I'm very satisfied. We didn't pick a kicker in the third round. It's always a good year. So what do you ladies think about your Bills and your Lions drafts this year?
Beth, you want to go first?
Sure. So I love our first pick. I love Maxwell Harrison. Like we said, he's a cornerback. Buffalo, our biggest issue is we didn't have a defense. We didn't have size. We didn't have depth. Our defense has been lacking for several years. So I agree. I think we had a pretty good draft pick. I've heard differing stories from different people, but for the most part, I mean, we picked up, who did we pick up? We picked up Deion Walker from Kentucky as well. So Maxwell Harrison's from Kentucky. He's been reunited with Deion Walker from Kentucky. Both defensive players. Deion Walker is 6'7", 330 pounds. He's just huge. He's just a big dude. And that's what we really needed. We needed some size. We got 7 picks, I think. We picked up 7 people, 3 cornerbacks, 3 defensive tackles. You knew what we were coming in for, right? We needed that defense to really hold its own this year. We picked up 1 wide receiver at the very, very end, which I hope means we may re-sign Amari Cooper. It gives me good hope that we think that Keon Coleman is going to really break out again this season and come back into his own. We didn't pick up a running back, so hopefully this James Cook thing is going to blow over. I feel like who we picked in the draft gives a better insight into what our locker room is looking like and how the management really feels about our players. So I think we're in a good spot. I do believe that the right decisions were made, and I think we're going to be awesome. I think things are going to be really good. I mean, we also signed off season. We signed Joey Bosa and all that.
That's right. Y'all got Joey Bosa.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, we've got some good, and Josh Palmer as a wide receiver too. So we've got some good things coming into us this year. So I think I'm pretty positive right now.
Nice. Love that. Awesome. Laura, Lions.
I'm thrilled with our draft. So it was funny during the trades and things over the last couple months that we were talking, and I'm like, we didn't really do much. We signed a bunch of players back that were really good. We didn't do a lot of trading, but so I was eagerly awaiting the draft. Our first round pick, Tyleik Williams, super excited about him. He is out of unfortunately, he is out of the Ohio State University, which of course makes him like a sworn enemy to the state of Michigan, but he seems to be getting over that. And what's great is his position. He's playing with, Ali McNeil, who was one of our many, 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 many players that got injured in the last half of the season. He's going to kind of help rebuild that defensive line. And then round 2, we got Tate Rutledge, who is, one thing I love about this is we got players with a lot of personality that are going to fit in very well with the Dan Campbell culture. Tyleik Williams, I forgot to mention the best part is he has a cat named S'more, and he's been showing S'more all over social media, and Lions Nation is thrilled that there's a cat on the team now. And Tate Rutledge is this mullet kid from Georgia. He's just like this giant.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Georgia has lots of mullets to share.
Yes. And he seems perfect for the team. He's a huge O-line guy. He's going to fill a hole. We traded up for Isaac Tesla, wide receiver. And even though we have several good wide receivers, he's very versatile, like St. Brown. So he's going to come in handy, and they can do a lot of weird stuff, because Campbell likes to do the weird stuff. So yeah, I'm really, really excited about everyone we drafted this year.
That's awesome. I will say, so Beth, I'll ask your opinion. So our first round draft pick was an incredible athlete. I mean, he is just a stud, Michael Williams. And he is, I think he was one of the youngest, if not the youngest in the draft class this year. Incredible stud. And he's got a tall ceiling. This kid's got a lot left to get to, right? But the thing is his senior year, his last year before the draft, he has this ankle injury, and he's only played at 60%, which was, if that's his 60%, rock on, right? So there's a little bit of me that's kind of like, what up with this ankle? Because it's been a hot minute now. So I'm trying to be cautiously optimistic here, but should I be worried, Beth? Am I just in my head?
Yes. I'm going to say yes. He's young, right? He's super young. he was pushing to get into the draft. He was pushing to play as hard as he can to make it to the NFL, right? Now he's there. The 49ers know what he needs. They're going to rest him. They're going to give him some time. They're going to make sure he gets the rehab he needs to have him be full strength by the time the season comes. So I would say yes. I think we're good. I think you're going to be fine. I think he just needs a little bit of rehab through the summer, and he'll be good.
I just needed that. So, guys, if you don't know, Beth is a doctor of physical therapy. I'm a physician assistant who's worked in orthopedics and emergency medicine and so on and so forth. But I ask her that because I am a traumatized 49er fan where we tend to draft people who have injuries and we pay dearly for it down the road. So I'm feeling the positivity. I want to, Technics Chick's right there with me. I feel the 49ers did their due diligence on the 30 visits and all that to sniff out the issue with the ankle. Love it. I'm here for it. Let's keep this positive train rolling.
And he's coming from UGA as well. So he's another Georgia boy.
Yep. So yep. It's true. That's true. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room. Our text chain was blowing up. Shedeur.
Which elephant?
This is okay. We're going to go through the serious one and then we'll get to the other one. Shedeur Sanders was slated to be a top 20 prospect in this year's draft, and he did not go first round. He did not go second round, third round, fourth round. He was the 144th pick in the 5th round this year and ended up, as we kind of alluded to earlier, being drafted by the Browns, who drafted another quarterback ahead of him in this draft. What?
Crazy.
What? I don't have.
Why not?
This.
You want to know
why?
What
the hell is what I'm trying to say.
Because it's Cleveland. Because it's Cleveland.
I mean, I hate that for him. I hate that for his family as a parent of an athlete, okay, I'll admit this. And I think I admitted this the first season of our podcast, Laura. This was before you were able to join us as the Fabulous Three here. I was not I liked Deion, but I didn't like Deion. He was fine. And then when he joined the 49ers, I was like, uh-oh, what's our locker room going to be like? But then I ended up meeting somebody who played for the 49ers when Deion was on the team. And I was like, oh, we got to talk. I got to hear all the details. And Deion is so brilliant. And why he's so brilliant is this man knew what sells. He knew what sells. And he made this whole character that was going to be out there, that he knew he had the ability and he had confidence in himself. And he grew this whole aura about him that sold. Everybody wanted his jersey. Everybody wanted to be Deion. They were doing the dance in the end zone. They had the chains, everything, right? It was a whole Deion thing. But behind those doors, behind closed doors, he was the best teammate. This guy was the designated driver. He watched all the teammates at parties. He made sure they stayed out of trouble. He was that guy. And I loved hearing this story. I loved to know that I was wrong. And I feel like that's what he's ingrained in these boys. And I think, people are like, oh, he's Shedeur. He's legendary with his brand and all this stuff. And now we're in an area where you can have a brand, that you can sell your image and likeness, the NIL and all these things. But this kid behind closed doors, I would guess, has been raised by a father who would not expect him to be anything more than he expected of his teammates back in the day. So I feel terrible for this guy because I think he's a good human being. I think that he's got the talent, and I can't wait to see what he does in the league, because now he's in the league. All he needed was the opportunity, and let's see what he can do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I completely agree with you. And one of the things that was bugging me during the draft, but also listening to a lot of talking heads afterwards, was they kept talking about this kid. He seemed arrogant, or he seemed cocky, or all this. And you know, to put it bluntly, it was the vast majority of these talking heads are white men. And there is a level, I mean, there's definitely still racism within the NFL. And young Black quarterbacks have to do twice as much work to get half as far. And the fact that they're saying this about him, where the same thing happened with Eli Manning, and nobody said that about him or his father. You know, that didn't even come up. So I think it's a real shame that we allowed this incredible athlete to be treated like this in the draft, because it's not fair to him, and it's not fair to his family, and it's not fair to anybody to paint him with a paintbrush that isn't him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going to take a slightly different opinion. I agree. Like, I think it's hard. It's where the chips fell. I can see all of these sides. I think if I were a coach, that would be one of my concerns. Like what you said, Desi, before. The idea of what you're going to bring into your locker room, right? So now, not even from what that person is going to do, not even from what Sanders is going to do, but from what the outside looking in is going to cause to that locker room now.
Yeah.
If it's not a big enough shit show in Cleveland as it is right now, you're now going to have the entire NFL looking into your locker room to see, because you know he's not going to stop talking. You know there's going to be talking points all the time. You know his dad's going to be in there trying to figure stuff out. I think he's still going to be in there talking and chirping in his ear one way or another, good, bad, or indifferent, right? He's going to be involved. So you didn't just draft a quarterback. You drafted his dad.
Yeah.
Who is a coach and a great football player and who has opinions and has a plan for his sons, right?
Yeah.
So I could see from being a general manager, from being a coach, to be like, I don't necessarily want to take that on, right? Yeah. Like, that's a whole lot. That's like getting married and having to take on like a whole bunch of extra kids, right? Like if you remarry somebody and your significant other has 3 or 4 kids, you don't really know what you're getting into. You got to take on a whole lot more baggage than maybe you're ready for. So I could see teams maybe shying away from that standpoint. I also heard rumors, I don't know if it's true, that like Dayball had asked him to prepare for the interview. He didn't interview well. And there was kind of like some headbutting going on about that. Like, I don't know about any of that, but I just know that I don't know if I would want Shedeur and his dad in my locker room. I don't know. I think it would bring a lot into the team, an extra stress. I don't like all that extra stress. I wouldn't want that in my locker room. Like James Cook, like fair. Debating about his contract, like has me on edge. And I'm like, do we just need to get rid of him? Do we need a new quarter? Do we need a new running back? Like I think Diggs scarred me. So I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's fair. I think everything you said is fair. And I think it's also fair when people say that is higher, like they wrote more about his skill set being higher than what it actually was, right? Like his arm strength wasn't quite there. He doesn't quite have the height and the strength of certain quarterbacks. He's not like an RPO quarterback, like, you know,
and he went
not
a year early
out there,
too.
so you don't have that. Right. So, I mean, I think that factors in. I think the part is, I don't know. I mean, if you're Cleveland and you're already going to pick, if he's already on your board, I don't know why you pick the other guy. It's Cleveland. I don't know if I can ever understand what Cleveland does on their draft
right.
board, but
I think the only reason that I could come up with about like this pick and the timing and the location is that you get them for cheap, right? You get them for cheap right now. Why they didn't pick him earlier, I don't know. But you got to remember, they're still paying Deshaun Watson, and God knows if he's ever going to play football again, right? Like,
yeah,
nothing good is coming from that guy, and you are locked into like $230 million with that man.
Right.
So you kind of have to go cheap with quarterbacks right now. So maybe they lucked out with getting him where they got him because it gives him a year or two to grow. he can learn something from Joe Flacco. You know, Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders can fight it out for a backup. You know, I mean, maybe it turns out to be something good. Who knows? You know, like I can see why. Because Deshaun Watson's not coming back. Like they're just throwing money away. So they've got to keep everything else cheap, right? So
yeah,
maybe they're playing the long game better than we think they are.
Well, yeah, and you never know. I mean, it really could turn out to be incredible. I mean, the famous Tom Brady story, right? He was drafted super, super late. No one expected much out of him, and he turned out to be one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Like,
Laura, I don't think you understand. We don't talk about Tom Brady.
Well, okay, but you have to admit
we don't talk about Brady.
The situation is very similar.
Here. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why I love these ladies here. So, so Technics Chicks brought it. She just cracked it right on open. So we're going to go there real quick. I live in Florida, and of course it's raining. So my Wi-Fi is acting funky. So just let me know. But Laura, you can take over the reins, right? If this pops.
Yeah, I can get myself to take over the reins.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to
start out here, Laura.
All right. So Technics Chick puts right here. I also feel terrible for him and the family because of the prank call. Yes, we have media ready to chat about this. So as if it wasn't hard enough, like, again, I have a kid that's an athlete. I mean, we're never going to get to a draft situation. He doesn't play football, but I can understand, like, I can just imagine sitting there waiting for your number to be called, waiting for your time, and this happens. So this kid is the son. Let me pull up the statement from the Falcons, because wait a minute. There it is. All right. So, you can't see the upper part, but it basically, the son, Jax Albrick, is a 21-year-old son who is the son of the defensive coordinator, Jeff Albrick. And this kid got the phone number for Shedeur Sanders and prank called him, and basically pretended he was the GM for one of the teams and said, "Hey, we're going to call you in the next one. We're going to call you." And poor Shedeur, I guess, from what I understand, the only people that had this phone number were the GMs of the different teams. Like, this was not a number that people knew. So you can only get this number if you were a GM. And allegedly, I didn't confirm this, but I think the daughter of a GM, a different team, had given him the number because she goes to Ole Miss or what, I don't know. I guess somehow they know each other. Got him the number. He called Shedeur, pretended like he was GM and that he was going to draft him. Can you imagine this? Can you freaking imagine this? As a parent, you know how lit up I would be if that happened to my kid. I mean, I would be so upset. I'd be devastated for ultimately Shedeur got drafted. He's in the NFL. I'm sure everything's fine. And then likely, can you imagine being the parent of the jerk off that did this?
Right.
I mean, the mortify, like, your job is now on the line because your kid embarrassed you and put this out there. So now Falcons. I know, it's the dirty birds. So Jeff Albrick was unaware of the data exposure or any facets of the prank and was made aware of the above only after the fact. The Atlanta Falcons do not condone this behavior and send our sincere apologies to Shedeur Sanders and his family, whom we have been in contact with to apologize to, as well as facilitate an apology directly from Jax to the Sanders family. Pause. This is the Falcons that Deion Sanders made his legacy start, right? He is a dirty bird. He is like royalty to Atlanta. And this is the organization that has to put this out. Can you imagine this? We are thoroughly reviewing all protocols and updating if necessary to help prevent an incident like this from happening again. Like, what the actual...
Okay. Let's backtrack for a second. There's a generation that did not get left outside at night.
Right.
That did not have to, like, figure out how to get home with $6 in their pocket and either take the bus or walk or like. And I did not have to do that, mind you, but I also understood that like this isn't funny. Come on, y'all. Like ding dong ditch. Like what are we doing? You're 21 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
21.
I made my first
like
prank
how
phone call,
is this funny?
Right. I called people
I could see my son. My son is 12. I could see a 12-year-old. I could see a 16-year-old being like, this is a really funny idea. You are 21 years old.
Well, right. And you're 21 years old knowing exactly what you're doing. You are calling a NFL player. It wasn't like you just dialed a random number and said, do you have Prince Albert in a can? Like that's not what happened. He specifically called and said, this like literally something that could change the course of somebody's life. And that's what makes it so horrifying.
And it's already
why like it all comes down to I can't even if I have my work sitting out, like at no point do I think my kids are going to go through it and be like, ooh, what's this? Let me see. Like, come on. So yes, I get that Ulbrich has something to Jeff Ulbrich is partially it's his fault. I get it. It's just because you have a dumb kid, though. It's not because.
But is it his fault? Because if this daughter of a different GM was the one that gave him the number, then the breach didn't happen with Jeff.
So I thought from what I read, I thought it was Jeff Ulbrich had his iPad open with the information, and he got the information off of
that was
iPad.
The official statement from the Falcons, but that doesn't necessarily mean it didn't happen the other way. They made this CYA of protecting this other girl.
Yeah. The investigation's still ongoing. I guess we'll figure it all out eventually. But I mean, that's just cruel.
In other news, the Falcons did nothing for their draft picks. They had to bring attention to themselves in one way or another.
Oh my God.
This is what it was, apparently.
Well, here was the statement from the kid. So let's see what that says. Wait, or was this discontinued?
Nope, this is the statement.
Here it is. Yeah. So on Friday night, so this is from Jax Ulbrich. So he said, on Friday night, I made a tremendous mistake. Shedeur, what I did was completely inexcusable, embarrassing, and shameful. I'm so sorry I took away from your moment. It was selfish and childish. I could never imagine getting ready to celebrate one of the greatest moments of your life, and I made a terrible mistake and messed with that moment. Thank you for accepting my call earlier today. I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me. Boy, if I could be a fly on the wall.
Yeah, it actually reads as sincere, but it reads as sincere as his dad told him he needed to make
apologize.
This right. Yeah, like you need to. This isn't like an "I'm sorry I got caught" situation. This is my father threatened me with whatever is the appropriate punishment.
My dad's gonna lose his job if you don't
exactly.
forgive me. Please don't sue me.
Exactly.
Is what that
and
was.
And by the way, like you not only do the stupid thing, but you record it and then post it so that it can go viral. Like, ew. Like, God. Ew and ick. It's
like I said, he clearly lived a privileged childhood.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's our 2 cents on Shedeur Sanders and all the things. And so now to get a little bit lighter, who wants to break the ice?
I don't know. What are we talking about?
Oh boy! I thought we were talking about why Pittsburgh didn't draft a quarterback.
Oh, sorry. This was so long ago.
For a team that needed a quarterback so badly.
Speaking of quarterbacks, is what you should have said.
Yeah.
Speaking of, are they going to get Aaron Rodgers? What is happening? It's time to roast.
Who else are they going to get?
Yeah, I mean they didn't draft.
Like, what's
somebody.
left?
There's no one left to trade. Like, yeah, I think they might be just like hiring someone from the stands because they should not hire Aaron Rodgers. That isn't necessarily going to stop them.
Like, I'm so fascinated. Like, Coach Mike Tomlin, no nonsense Mike Tomlin.
And I thought he would have gotten Shedeur. I could have seen him picking Shedeur.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to be a good fit. I thought for sure that was going to happen. So when that didn't happen, I was like, crap, Aaron Rodgers is it.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah. It's gonna go poorly. It's gonna go
We
poorly.
need some holy
That's
water.
what they do. It's gonna, just like the Jets, it's gonna be crap from day one. Which, speaking of the Jets, because their new coach, of course, was our former, one of our former coaches, and he actually called Aaron Rodgers in to a meeting to fire him. So it's not like he fired. So Aaron Glenn did not fire him from a distance. He's like, no, you have to come to me, and I'm going to tell you to your face to leave.
Didn't he also have to pay for his own flight to get there?
Yes.
To be told that he was getting fired? That I recall that. Fly yourself here so I can fire your butt.
Exactly. Which is just beautiful. It's just poetry. But
I agree.
Yeah, so the Steelers they're gonna rue the day if they do this. I don't know what their options are,
and I would hate for Coach Tomlin to go out like that. Like truly, that's like
I also can't imagine the two of them in the same room for more than 5 minutes. Like, I can't see anything good coming from that conversation.
Nothing.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Nothing good.
Don't think I am.
All right. Shall we go into rate the fit?
Yes.
Yeah.
We got a few options that we pulled this time.
Uh-oh. Why didn't it make... Oh, because... Hold on. I'm failing. It's been a minute. All right, guys. It's time for Rate the Fit. We fell in love with some folks during the draft. And you get to, we'll post this on Instagram later today or tomorrow. And then you guys get to vote who your favorites were. But here's the options. Tyler Booker. I mean, if this guy just didn't ooze excitement, and the only thing sad about this was he's going to Dallas.
He oozes Cowboys swag though. Like, he'll fit in just fine.
He will, but this was absolutely by far my favorite fit of the entire draft. I like just the swag and that, that
brown velvet
coat. Yeah, brown velvet. We talked about this a lot while we were chatting back and forth. We still have no idea what his chain says, what his pendant is, but it doesn't matter. I don't care.
I will tell you, I love the nails. Like, I can't stand a man who's got like the fingernails. It grosses me out. So like, I love the nails look good in this picture. So that's that. Let's go on to...
Before you go into the next one, on his lapel, two of the pins are two turtles because he had two pet turtles that died and he wanted to celebrate his turtles.
Oh gosh. Okay. I love this guy. I literally fell in love with him and I was like, damn, you're going to the Cowboys. I'm going to have to not like you. And I'm going to not like you.
It's going to be hard to follow him.
Here's our favorite, right? And the energy, the Mr. Hype Man, Maxwell Hairston of the Buffalo Bills. He was everybody's hype man with this fly suit. The jacket is so amazing, and it just matched his vibe, I think. So this is my favorite right here.
I love it. It looks like he was going to the Lions, like he was planning on going to the Lions, but otherwise it's a sweet, sweet suit.
Meanwhile, Beth is like, get off my man, okay? He's going to Buffalo.
No one is going to the Lions. You stay back. He's adorable. Like, and everything that I've seen from him since, I'm in love with him as much as I was in love with Keon Coleman last season. So I'm super excited to have him to be part of the Bills. And the suit is just fabulous. I love his suit.
Yeah. Swagalicious. All right. And third up, right here, Matthew Golden. I mean, it's all in the name, right? He's got the nice fit here. He's got the G all up on the chain. He's going to the Packers. I like the bow tie. I really thought that was a nice touch there. He's got the shades on. Thoughts about
I like the little flower lapel there.
Me too. The gold flower.
I like that.
Yeah.
I would have liked the tie better if it was solid. I think we got too busy. But I like it.
I kind of like it because it's like all black and then you've got the G right in the center.
Well, and so they drilled this to death in the actual coverage because his name is Golden. He went to the Packers, the golden green. He wore a G. He wore all gold. They're like, this is a match made in heaven, blah, blah, blah. But I hate that he went to the Packers, but this fit is pretty sweet.
Yeah, and the draft was in Green Bay, so,
right.
It's all fitting.
Look at us making connections that aren't there.
But I think Laura found a little treasure here. Crocs. Ashlyn Gently's Croc. Is it Gently? Genty's.
Genty. Yeah, I'm not sure. The Raiders' first-round draft pick. These aren't just bedazzled Crocs. What I learned is that these are actually Swarovski crystals. Like, he bought shoes for $8 and got Swarovski crystals embedded in them.
Have you bought Crocs lately? Crocs are very expensive.
I was gonna say they're not $8. They are like plastic, right?
Yes,
they're still plastic.
They are.
Yes.
I have a pair of Crocs. They're like my basement shoes. Like that's all I use them for, and I've had them for like 20 years.
All the kids now. So now you also have to understand, like, he's not wearing them in sport mode. He's wearing them in casual mode.
Right,
because the strap's in front.
Right.
So he doesn't plan on going anywhere fast in these. He's definitely in like the chill mode, because until the straps go in the back, then you're in sport mode, then you're ready to play. So maybe he flips them and wears them for warm-ups or something at some point.
And we're also fantastic fashion raiders. Okay. We just know fashion.
Yeah.
Sport mode and all.
The first thing they say is, that girl knows fashion. Yeah, no.
All right. What else do we have? Guys, we have a couple of things that I'm going to close with, because I know we've talked about this as female fans. I know we love hearing about stories of these athletes that are coming into the league. It's making those connections, learning about these athletes. So it was interesting because I was helping Steph Sanchez. If you guys don't know who she is, she's amazing. Go follow her. She's a huge 49er fan, and she's huge with our fan base. She basically keeps us up to date all throughout the entire draft process. She keeps a whole running Excel spreadsheet on who the 49ers are looking at, who's been invited, who's on their radar. And then I do like a 10% help of like filling out the injury reports and all these athletes. But this grid is almost 200 people deep. So there's lots of players. And so as I was helping to fill that out, there's a couple of names that popped up that I was looking around at. So I want to share a couple of them with you. And interestingly enough, one of them was drafted as a free agent to the 49ers. One of them ended up getting drafted in the 6th round to the Lions. And then the other one was an undrafted free agent to Dallas. So we're going to start with, let's start with the guy that the 49ers got. So this is the undrafted free agent, Jacob Robinson. He was a really cool guy who is half Vietnamese and half Black. He was adopted at birth. And the interesting thing is, this guy is a tough little guy. I mean, reading about what his dad has to say. So his mom was also adopted. So his mom was adopted from Vietnam, and then was here at the States, and then ended up allowing Jacob to be adopted by a family here that she handpicked. And Eric is the adopted dad, who's his dad. And he's just talks about how special that was to have been handpicked to take Jacob and be able to be their family. So I love this story, but it was interesting in here because, of course, I'm looking things up from an injury perspective. And he's talking about this is Eric who's talking about his son here. From the time Jacob was little in 4th grade, he was catching deep passes over his head. It was pretty obvious that he was special, had some special skills at football. Even though he was smaller, he was a fighter, a battler on offense, defense, and special teams. Then he goes on to talk about this gnarly injury he got. Let me see if I can find it real quick because it was, I think I passed it. Here it is. So against USC on November 27th of 2021, same night, tight end Isaac Rex suffered a devastating ankle injury. Jacob Robinson also suffered a major injury in the 4th quarter that would cause him to miss BYU's appearance in the Independence Bowl a month later. And so Eric again says, he will never admit it if he does get hurt unless he's got a broken rib sticking out of his chest like he did at USC. Ooh. What? What? Are you telling me this man had a compound fracture of a rib? And he says he's okay from that, but every time I look at the replay, it almost makes me kind of sick. So we got a dog, you guys. I mean,
good luck, man. He's gonna play.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. So Jacob Robinson, undrafted free agent to the 49ers. So awesome. The next one, I want to talk about yours, the one that Laura, the one that Ahmed Hassanian.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Ahmed Hassanian. I'm not exactly sure. I'll learn how to pronounce his name before the season, but yes.
Yes. The really cool thing about him is he is the first Egyptian to ever be drafted in NFL history. So it was fantastic. So this guy, let me see. He was, the way that this article writes, this is an article that's posted on ESPN. He was at Boise State, and it was talking about being on the verge of history of being the first Egyptian to be drafted by the NFL. And it's in here talking about how, let's see, he was talking about his upbringing and how it was a very tumultuous upbringing, and talking about his mother who had a substance abuse disorder, and how he had behavioral issues that caused him to be expelled from school. He was raised by his mother, and she was very, very abusive, starting with addiction and drugs and all that stuff. She was verbally abusive and physically abusive. But he ended up finding solace in sports, including, and I love this, breakdancing, soccer, swimming, basketball, boxing, jiu-jitsu, ping pong, CrossFit. Fascinating. He became the top-ranked CrossFit athlete in Egypt and one of the best in Africa. So that kind of laid down his foundation to strong work ethic. So it goes on to talk about how there was a guy that I guess knew the family. Let's see. Besh, who was 30 at the time, making his first trip to Egypt, hadn't seen Hassanian in a decade. And he started to formulate a plan to get Hassan here stateside, Hassanian. And so he ended up, he said, I was like, well, what if he came and lived with me and played football for me? So he was a coach at Laura High in Anaheim, California. And this was pivotal. So this kind of started him on his trek to football. And imagine coming here, having to learn English, a new sport, a playbook, all the things. And so now he is in the NFL. Congratulations to him. Such an incredible story. So if you want to, guys, we'll put this stuff in the these links to these stories so that you guys have them, because they're pretty interesting and pretty amazing. Yeah. The one that I just this.
Oh, I do want to really quick about this player. I saw an interview with him, and he mentioned that when he first came to the U.S., he didn't speak any English. Now he speaks like fluent, unaccented, like completely, you would not know he is from somewhere else English. And that he was super excited to be playing for Dan Campbell. And he's like, I am willing to put it all on the field for Dan Campbell. So I am super excited about that kid. And I hope that, yeah, he gets and plus he's one of the things we need. So I'm all for it.
Yeah. I got chills. I think he's going to be
checks a box too.
Yeah. I think he's going to be a dog for you guys for sure.
Yeah.
So now this one, all right, y'all have your Kleenex boxes, because this one I could not. I mean, I was lingering on every word of this article. So this article came from the Harvard Crimson. Tyler Neville. Okay, remember this guy's name. He is an undrafted free agent that's going to the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, of all dreams. Now, I'm a 49er fan. I would never dream to ever play for the Cowboys, but I do understand that most of our country dreams to play for the Cowboys. I think it's the largest fan base. But can you imagine this story that I'm about to tell you, and then think about how this guy is now going to be, he is signed with the Dallas Cowboys. So this guy had a growth spurt, and while he was in high school, they started to notice, let's see, so is Tyler Neville from Williamsburg, Virginia. And he was, let's see, after years of dramatic health complications, including, let's start here. When Neville was born without hearing, he quickly underwent surgery to place small tubes in his eardrums, and he matured into a talented multi-sport athlete playing football and basketball. At 14, he realized he felt short of breath when exercising. So they took him to the doctor, who realized he had a condition called pectus excavatum. Folks, what that is, it's a chest wall disorder in which you kind of have like, it looks like your rib cage is pushing inward, like a bowl had melted into your chest. Okay, so think of like a cave looking appearance to your chest. That's called pectus excavatum. And so he ended up having surgery as a teenager in high school, a Ness procedure, which is where they kind of put a metal bar under the sternum to kind of pop open the rib cage a bit to allow more ease of blood flow and pumping of the heart. So he worked hard to recover from surgery so he could get back to all his sports and doing what he was loving to do. And then until the metal bar was removed, Neville was prohibited from playing football, but could still participate in basketball if he wore a protective vest. So he did that. Now get this, a year after that, Neville felt severe discomfort in his chest, and the doctor could not find any issues with the metal bar, but noticed a small spot on his lung. They performed a biopsy and was diagnosed, this young man, with Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is a cancer of the immune system. Right? It's a lot. Mm-hmm. It's a lot. I wasn't expecting it. I came home from school and my parents sat me down on the back porch and told me I had cancer. I cried and let my parents explain it to me. So then this kid underwent chemotherapy and got weaker and weaker. He ended up having over 20 different surgeries, and he overcame. He found out as a sophomore that the cancer was in remission. And despite chemotherapy and the protective plate, Neville made the starting lineup of his basketball team. And so eventually he was cleared to play football. And here he is, undrafted free agent for the Dallas Cowboys.
Wow.
Right? This is why we love football, right? It's the connection. It's the cool stories. It's hearing about where these people come from, seeing them rise up, overcome, and just, you want to cheer for these people. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So with that, we have one last announcement before we wrap up this spontaneous post-draft rehash or recap. Ladies, we have some planning to do.
We do.
Hump
Football
Day
season is coming.
Hump Day, May 14th. The NFL schedule will be released. Ladies and gentlemen, we are planning to go to lots of places this year. So if you want, I think we decided we were going to pop back on for a quick pod that day to start chatting about plans. If you would like to listen in and join in and help us figure this out, we're going to pick some places to go. Maybe we're going to come to a place where you are right now and we get to meet you. So if you have ideas or suggestions about which stadiums we should go to for tailgating, we'd love to hear them. Join us on Instagram, Facebook, X. We're all over the place, Girlfriends in Football. But ladies, any final comments, thoughts, or anything as we wrap up this episode?
Oh man, I'm just looking forward to everything. So yeah, I cannot wait.
All right. That's
Third season is the best season. Go Bills.
Hey. All right now. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure. And Technics Chick, we want you to be here every week. Last scheduled release. Steph was part of the 49ers. Oh, she was. I'll have to check that out. Oh, wait, last scheduled release. I'll have to check that out. I missed that. Gabe, thank you for the love. Everybody who showed up, we appreciate you. Join us again Wednesday, May 14th. We'll be back, and then that'll be our final episode before the season starts in August. So, guys, enjoy it, relish in it right now. Let's just be excited about the people we have, and let's see what happens to Aaron Rodgers. On that note, peace. We'll see you guys.
Bye.